Part 37, Cabbage-Looking in Mufti. The story so far. After the worm-chewing outrage and Philippa Portley's continued and hysterical nausea, Hubert has been declared definitely off his chump by the Rawlinson family, with the sweet exception of Great-Aunt Florrie, who asseverates her brother-in-law is merely unusual, should be shown kindness, as, after all, he is well-meant and quite the bearded epitome of kindness. He is, however, ordered to eat alone, shunned, eschewed, sent to Coventry, and has his boots nailed to the floor so he can't go out. Now, think on't. ... A baleful, greed-glint prodigal son cast doubt and drear into Concreton estate, waking as though from the cheerless depths of a boiled cod's eye. But in Rawlinson End, towers, turrets, and each tiny nostril hair were gilded, as were Sir Henry's teeth, save the two he'd had carved in Indonesia from hardwood, inlaid with mother-of-pearl. It was very, very early, and he lay back on his bed, atrabilious and fidgety.
"Get a shufty on, will you?"
He pulled his face Quasimodo as old Scrotum, the wrinkled retainer, more vigorously applied the boot polish to his master's head with an old gout stocking, working it in well down the neck and thorax, almost to the hirsute and gargantuan belly.
"I still reckons we'd be smarter if Master had let I buff it up a bit. Shiny allers looks dandy. For the umpteenth time I'm supposed to be an impecunious jungle bunny, not the bonnet of me rolls."
Scrotum, deaf as a brick wall, hoarse as Black Beauty, grinned. Of the make-up, there remained only the tufty wig and the eyes to do. Scrotum held a cork, of which Henry had a great and enjoyably planned supply, to a candle, and the room was saraband with curlicues of sweetish smoke. Henry's moustache, pomaded stiff and upsweeping, was almost Darwinian in corkscrew. His eyelashes and lids were now coal candle, sooty and sweep, and he clipped on a pair of huge cylindrical earrings, while Scrotum applied a little wood adhesive to his forehead to fix a green sequin. Through the sheer of Henry Rawlinson's stockings, his tumescent veins seemed Stygian spaghetti.
"God's teeth! You've bought another pair with a seam up the back. Legs don't have seams."
He took a hefty swig of entre-deux legs to steady himself. This morning, he must remain tranquil as a yogi's navel. Then he tugged on a lilac knee-length tutu over his sandals, fastened it with a gay stomacher, slipped into his mirrored jacket, rammed on his turban, and was perfect.
Now creak off and check the library."
Henry padded heavily after the old man down dusty corridors and close-shut rooms wherein Rawlinsons tossed, snoozed, and dreamt of empty. Then down the back hall staircase where heavy-framed Maynards and Rawlinsons glared from time-dulled oil, strange-headed and fierce, past the billiards room and into the library. Scrotum shifted a huge button-back armchair to the wall, and standing on the arm, reached up and removed 3 books from the almost top shelf. The weighty, leather-bound Pictorial History of Gargling, Dead Men Don't Need Haircuts, and Personal Dental Experiences. These 3 revealed a lever, and with a pull, a portion of the shelving swung protesting back to reveal a passage.
"I suggest you get this thing well oiled. If I can manage it every day, I'm damned if I can see why the doors should stay sober."
Without even a cheerio, Henry disappeared and was soon swallowed in dark, lashing at spiderwebs with his cane, cursing quietly and kicking at the bristly things scuttling snuffly and blind at his almost naked ankles. The tunnel gave egress in a thick, wooded part of bramble patch, and after brushing himself off, Henry uncovered a well-kept, though ancient, unicycle he'd stolen from Hubert. This hidden beneath a hide of gorse. It was then he noticed the ladders. Through his black stockings, great rakes revealed corpse, sunless white, and mauve squid chilblain.
"Lost!"
Henry fiddled with his suspenders, tore off the stockings, and from his shoulder bag produced a hip flask of paraffino. A quick swig, and resentfully he poured a little into his palm to make mud. This he smeared from toes to thighs, swearing horribly at the growing light. The mud was not dry before he checked the tire pressure and balanced against a larch for the off, cocked his leg over, and with a deep grunt and a push, pedalled wildly, teetering uncertain gyroscope, rut, root, duck, sway, swerve, round rat hole, heading for the new tar-macadam and evil-smelling arterial road to Concreton. Hubert didn't bother with boots. 3 pairs of socks, and his stilts were quite comfy. He had bells tied to the wooden ends to help him keep time as he strode. I'm tracing models in the puddles at the poodle-doodle-doodle on the jigsaw floor. Thank Welks, they all have heads of wood. I dread the day I'm understood. Though himself soft-spoken, it made Hubert laugh to hear other people shouting. This he considered not only healthful, but might, if taken to its illogical conclusion, just do away with the hated telephone. So it was not only for speed, far-seeing and stature that he habitually went on stilts, for also he affected an ear trumpet, with the consequence that most stood on tiptoe or boxes or jumped up and down to converse with him. Hubert, all time craning, straining, cupping his good ear, feigning non-comprehension and muttering, "Pardon? Oh, come again? Please speak up," and etc., at the same time uncontrollably giggling while his hapless companions empurpled and shrieked. Colloquy with Hubert was tough. He put it about that swans were really giant snorkels and that they betrayed dinosaur leviathans gliding cold-eyed beneath the lake. Even suspicious folk and poachers stayed clear of Rawlinson Pond, and on sunny days Hubert went angling, using tufts of his own hair or beard as bait. This he called sassooning. He'd been told that the lake embosomed enormous barbels, and this, translated through his ear trumpet and giggles, became anonymous barbers. He wondered how and why these hairdressers stayed submerged for so long and was determined to catch one. He spent painstaking afternoons painting maggots with red and white candy stripes, fixing the wiggly horrors stiff with hair lacquer, but it was a waste of time, for white-coated and deep beneath the mirror surface.
There go, there go. Stripe me a pinky, we will never buy. There's been many a close shave, but we slippery on customers. Stay safely, ear cut, dry and happy. Down here underwear, we blow away, burn shampoo, game and set. Like castaway, refracted fellow, forget, foe. Would you like to see the back of your head, Rene? My greetings to you. Bye, bye, bye.
Sir Henry, having discarded the unicycle and hidden it, emerged callid and fuming from Bramble Patch, and at the same time Buller Bullethead, spruce as a spiv, collided and accosted him.
Hello, Moose, where you off to? You impertinent lad. You know how I am, of course not. I tell you what you look like. What's your moniker? I'm Sir Henry, I think I'm Hugh Bliet. That's nice, I'll remember that. You some kind of artist? Yes. I'm especially fond of Michael and Jello, the two men responsible for the cistern chapel. Mike did the figures, Jello did the setting. Aubrey and Starchley, notorious for his illustration of Shalomé, the Jewish play by Oscar Peterson. Caravanio, the gypsy dauber. Like the moderns too, Jackson Polak, the Polish abstractionist. Avocado da Vinci and so on. Albrecht Durex, the sensitized German woodcutter, straight round, made a pinhole in every 100 of his editions. Anonymous Bosch, the secret Nazi, Vincent Van Rouge, Paul Shazam, the Captain Marvel of post-impressionism, painted nothing but letters, postcards, parcels. I enjoy surrealism, always listen to Mrs. Darley's diary, etc., etc. Anyway, I'm off. I must be off. I'm going to the sewerage farm in Congleton. There to seek inspiration. What in shit? I mean, you want to take a gander in my gaff? Family's full of it. No, this is to do with lumbago. Here's some mush. I don't reckon you're a proper Sambo at all. For starters, your bacon's are streaky. Oh, no, I've got you to eat. You're Sir Henry rolling me blinking sunshine. Ball of dash, I'm hugely, Tell you what, Chief, I'm a man of the world. Don't suppose your type carry any ready bees in your trolley bag, so just make me out of gooses for a monkey and I'll say no more. What do you know? What, you rogue? Then I can slope down a chapel rest for a pig's ear and a few mothers. You marble-hearted female! Henry raised his cane, then thinking better, turned his back on the lout, pulled up his robe and plucked a ruby from his navel, poked it into Buller's grimy claw, and with a grunt stumped off. Buller made it to the rubber in moments. Geezer! What a ginger geezer! I nearly had a seizure when I clocked him in the frog. Spruced up in me piccolo, me tipper and me daisies, bowling down the rubber with me cherry china Fido, rolled an oily rag, me cherry bread cheese. You won't Adam wanna see some geezer, an ooly ginger geezer, a geezer with a hoocher, I suppose. I really had to rabbit and pork to this geezer. I tie ice cream freezer. Ginger geezer sees you around. Now the ding dong, yeah. Oh, I did geezer.
Some years previous, Sir Henry, forced to ride side saddle like Her Majesty because of a painful Conan on the Khyber, with his dauntless trained whelkhounds in pursuit of a vicious servant, determined to apprehend and punish the rascal, fell from his horse near the sewerage works in Congleton. His riding chopper blew into the muck, and Henry uncharacteristically ploughed in, high-stepping over the revolving sprinklers to retrieve it. Although unhappy about the odour of the ordure, he found later, to his surprise, considerable relief from his chronic arthritis and lumbago. So now, a monthly visit in disguise, of course, was looked upon with an almost ritual relish. He was back in the passage, and almost to the library's priest-hole secret door, when Henry, to some alarm, noticed a growing phosphorescence in the gloom, and discerned, to his horror, a pair of phantom trousers rushing towards him. Next time costs 4 Hail Marys, 3 buttons, and potato crisps are served at communion.